Hello, welcome to EUphoria Episode 6, available on YouTube, Spotify, Soundcloud, Apple Podcasts, really wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. I'm Drakos, joined by Yamato and G2's Miky, currently still tied as the #1 team in Europe. Later today, we're going to get to dive into the mind of G2. I'm going to ask a lot of direct questions that are going to get a lot of very direct answers if I have any predictions as to how this is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Before we do that, Miky, I think one thing that we've missed out on in the new season of EUphoria is we haven't given our guests as much time to just shoot the shit. You know what I'm saying? That's a phrase, I think. It's a phrase. It's fine. Anyway, here's my question for you, Miky. Do you want to tell us the story of your wonderful taxi ride?
My taxi ride?
To get here? Because back in the day when we were in a studio in the middle of nowhere and like every taxi cab driver would get lost, we had the best stories. Yamato gave us some good stories about him like walking into a spetty to try to get Wi-Fi to try to tell us where he is because he's like a mile away. And this is pretty good. I appreciate your taxi driver in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was just asking me where I'm from. I said, yeah, I'm from Slovenia. And then he asked me if that's where Dracula is from. I said, no, I think that's Romania, but I'm not sure. And he said, oh, okay. Do you believe in Dracula? Do you think he's real? I'm like, I don't know. I was really confused. I was like,
if this is an Uber trip, would you give this guy 5 stars?
I think I'd give him a 5, yeah. But I give everyone 5.
That's the realest question a taxi driver's ever asked.
And that was kind of the end of the conversation, yeah.
He saw you weren't in it.
How do you follow up from that? He like bears his soul to you. He's trying to find someone else who really loves Dracula and is committed to Dracula.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, he was also asking me if like, all right, it wasn't the end of the conversation yet. He actually asked me if I know if I learned anything about it, like from like
school or what?
In school. I said no. I just watched a few movies. Yeah, that's about it.
Like, what is the history lesson, Dracula? What is this?
This guy's keen.
Biology.
Did you learn anything about the He was trying to recruit you. This was literally the opening scene for Van Helsing 2. Live that life for the rest of your life, but instead of showing interest, you just denied it. He could have been handing you a crossbow and some like silver bullets or shit by the time you left the cab. Like, stay safe out there.
Like a rune escape event.
I'm hype.
Berlin is a weird city, dude. Miky, the only other thing, like, what does G2 do in these days for fun, other than running it down on stage?
What we're doing for fun?
Yeah, like what's going on in the G2 house? How's the life? Because like pro players, like sometimes they have these like days where they all go out and do team events. What is G2 doing these days?
So these days we're playing a lot of MTG and
Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering.
For those unaware.
Going for food. We had one day where we played some Mortal Kombat. We had a certain guest over.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was really fun. But other than that, we just like, I don't know, we stream, we play solo queue.
Just to be clear, that certain guest absolutely smashed in the 5 or 6 rounds that he won.
Yeah, so yeah, like certain guest played like...
It was me. I don't know why we keep saying it. It was me. I came over to Mortal Kombat and I got absolutely demolished.
And he played 18 games against Rasmus and he won 3 out of 18. Yeah, so like 15-3. And then against me, he went...
You don't look at me like
1 and 4.
Yamato. It's a hard game.
After warming up for 18 games,
okay,
I was like first. I mean, I wasn't first time, but like I didn't warm up. He was for 18 games.
Played the game way more.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
And then I smashed him 4-0, and then I had to give him like 1 win, so he doesn't feel too demoralized. And then he played Wunder as well. Wunder just came in and was like, okay, let's play. And then he also beat him 4-1. So it was really demoralized.
So aside from me getting absolutely clowned on, the only thing that we learned from there's 2 things that we learned from this day. 1, I can hold on to my Magic the Gathering wins because you didn't do anything, Mr. Man.
Okay, but he was really like abusing some crazy cards. Like
that's true. My deck is just strictly better than his deck. That doesn't matter though. Doesn't matter. You were abusing OP characters. It's fine. There's always excuses.
It's like more skill-based Mortal Kombat thing than MTG.
Okay. Just your good hands, bad brain is what I'm hearing.
You're playing 11 or 10 Mortal Kombat?
11.
Does it transfer? Because I was the king of 10.
I think it's almost exactly the same. There's like some small mechanical differences.
It's pretty much the same. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure I would smack you both.
Okay, all right. Well, Mortal Kombat is our non-league game of choice, it would appear. But the final thing I want to talk about is this story about Rasmus. because Rasmus is a psychopath. Caps. So for those of you who don't play fighting games, like every character has like a grab, right? And a grab is basically just a way you beat blocks, and it usually follows an animation that's like 3 seconds. Now during one, Caps exclusively spams grabs.
3 moves. He has spams 3 moves.
3 moves. 2 of them are grabs. 1 of them is not a grab.
It's a teleport and it's the jump kick.
Yeah,
that's what he does.
And every time the grab animation happens, so nothing can happen for 3 seconds. No matter what you put, no one's going to do anything for 3 seconds. Caps stops looking at the screen, puts his controller down, and stares you in the face.
He has this like smug little face on his, like, looking at you.
Everyone gets triggered. And it is the single biggest troll I have ever seen in any game ever. He just looks at you. You don't look at him. You're looking at the playing the game.
But you know
the corner of your eyes, you see this little Danish face just staring at you with this smug grin because he's landed another grab, and it's all he does. So he grabs you 5 or 6 times if he's going to kill you.
He just really likes grabs.
I'm out for set of Caps. I bet he does the same on stage. It's Ulsen.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. He kind of does that, yeah, in every game that we play.
All right, that's your insight into the horrible experience that I had at the G2 house, getting absolutely blasted, and the free time of the G2 life, as well as Caps definitely 100% being probably criminally. Man is absolutely nuts. Oh, also, on this episode, it's not just off topic. We're also talking about G2 esports. We're talking about what went wrong last week, a little bit of state of the league, a little bit of kind of everything, honestly. It's a bit of a cocktail episode, I'm not going to lie to you. And of course, because Miky's here, we're also going to talk about anime. So stay tuned. All right. Last week was an interesting week of League of Legends, to say the least. And before we start talking about G2, I thought it was important. Let's get some spicy takes, some hot takes going. We've had 4 weeks of League. The first round robin is almost done. Miky, as you're the guest on this show, what have you got for us? What's your hot take?
G2 B-Tier is my hot take. And also Misfits not so good tier. I think they're like, yeah, they're a bit overrated or hyped or
okay. Well, there's 2 things to break it down there. One is you put your own team B tier. I'm gonna vote we shelf that one because we have an entire episode to talk about why you think G2 is B tier. That's a teaser for the people at home. Misfits are overrated. Why are Misfits overhyped, overrated?
Because I don't think they play really well. I think, yeah, enemy teams really just like run it down against. I mean, I think their support, jungle, mid are playing pretty well, like together, but I think by the end of the split, they will not make it very far. Or like in playoffs at least, they will not make it far, I think.
But you think they're making playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, it's looking likely, but maybe not even, actually. Yeah, I think they're going to be like around 5-6 place or something like that.
5th, 6th? I mean, I want you to lock it in, dude. Because the thing is you came in with like, I got the spiciest.
Go 5.
Misfits are
5 is fine.
Not very good.
Yeah.
Yo, so like what, you said, hey, we got like support jungle mid looking pretty good, but no faith in the young B-Boy, no faith in Dan.
I mean, I think B-Boy is playing fine. He's doing well, There's nothing special. He's just like, he's there doing what he has to do, but I was not very impressed playing against him or, well, actually I watched him play one good game of Aphelios once, but that was like kind of it. I think Dan is not that great either, from what I saw. I think, yeah, Baboon is most of the time AFK in his lane. So if enemy teams don't screw up like we did, then they should be able to win. But
you understand how I want a little bit more, because they did just
yeah,
whoop your ass this week. You know that, right? Like I rewatched that game and it was. Don't want to get into it too much, but why do you feel the need to say this hot take now? Is it because you lost them and you feel like everyone is like, oh my God, Misfits are so insane now?
Yeah. I think they're not so insane. So yeah. Yeah, you guys go. Your hot takes now.
That's fine. That's fine. Look, we'll leave it at that. We can come back to that when we talk about your loss versus Misfits and when you figured out about all these weaknesses. It must have been after the game, apparently, because
Yeah.
Jesus, Miky. All right. Just burn the team down that
Shut
just
up,
beat you.
Dracos.
All right. Yamato, what do you got?
My hot take is I don't even know if it's hot, but I share the same, not the same, because that would be dangerous. You're going down a fiery path. I'm going to let you do that alone. I think last week changes nothing.
Yeah.
Fnatic lost, G2 lost. I still think in terms of the power ranking, how I view the teams coming into the next week, how I'm going to judge all the matchups is still the same way. I put Fnatic above everyone else, G2 above everyone still. I don't think this week of chaos changes anything. With how everyone in the community speaks about it, everyone's crazy about, Mad Lions and Misfits and so forth. They did well, but I think better draft wins.
Actually, that's probably a better way to put it. Yeah, I'll share that statement.
It's too late, dude. We're clipping it out. It's being used against you from now until forever. Feminine just sits in his lane, AFK, he doesn't do anything.
No, I'm just like, because I was watching like a podcast where he said like you need to play aggressive against you two, you need to have early pressure because he was like flaming the Viger pick, against, like the Fnatic picked against us because just like AFK,
and then he picked.
But then he did the same. So okay,
Whatever in Echo jungle, the highly active needs to sit in the jungle till level 3.
Yeah.
But Azzy is fine into Yasuo, no?
Yeah, it's
Like
probably
AFK.
fine. Yeah.
Definitely not aggressive though.
Yeah.
He could have gone in.
Yeah, it's kind of on the tower. But yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be honest. You're right that I feel like not a lot changes. But this is what I will say. Watching Schalke beat you has given me a lot of faith in Schalke. Now, I was, before I looked at the standings, going to say Schalke make playoffs. But in order to do that, they have to beat one of G2, Misfits, Origin, Fnatic, Mad Lions, and Rogue, which I feel like we might as well lock our top 6 already. Excel maybe pushes in there. But what I will say is that Schalke are at minimum the 8th best team in our league, and I think that they can make playoffs. I think Schalke will be better than SK. I think Schalke will be better than Vitality. I feel like it's an easy call. I think SK at this point are getting charity wins and nothing else. I think Vitality might have the first 0-win split.
Whoa.
That's my question.
I think they might pull like one.
I kind of like, I went in circles till I found the hot take. That's the hot take. Vitality are not going to win a game for the rest of the split. Maybe that's not that hot.
I think that's like spicier than mine, but that's fine. You know? I think they might like pull out a win against SK or Schalke or whatever. I think they're like not horrible, and maybe when their mid lane situation gets sorted, they're gonna be much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think SK looks pretty weak as well. And who else is there? Yeah, Schalke. I think they are decent, but I don't think they can make playoffs, honestly.
That's very spicy.
I think Vitality won't find a win. I don't know, dude. I'm thinking about it, and like you're right. Maybe Melitza comes back. Like suddenly the train is back. I think it's too far gone.
I haven't practiced at all with them, right? At this point,
Haven't practiced them. Maybe they have.
I think put Cabochard mid, bring in Yopa, and enjoy. That's the way.
That's
Just
the
put
way.
Lucian mid, Jace
Cabochard
mid.
mid.
Cabo can shot call because top lane is the use of.
All right, I'll give you this. If Cabochard suddenly goes mid, I'll take everything back. Because then I just want to see the disaster unfold.
Cabo
All
won
right.
many 1v1s against Jizuke. That's why. That's the only reason.
All right, last week changes nothing. Don't be excited about Misfits. Vitality are never going to win a game unless Cabochard goes mid. But most importantly, your other hot take, Miky, because you gave us 2. G2 are now B tier.
For this week,
You absolute memer. All right, like
it was last week. Like until we see further games from G2, I'm gonna have to put him in B.
until we see more footage, prove the boys can get back on the horse. All right, what the hell happened last week?
So first
Absolute
of all,
pack of
I'm gonna start off by saying Grab screwed up the draft once again. Good job, Grabs. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what we were doing. I'm not sure if were we even playing last week. It was like really weird. It was like there was a lot of misplays, a lot of forced like plays. Like for example, the dive that we did against Schalke. We were just trying a lot of stuff and didn't really work. But yeah, I was just individually everyone was playing very below average. So I think it probably shouldn't happen again. It probably won't happen again. But yeah,
Okay.
that was it.
Well, like that's it. It's just there's no reason. There's
Draft.
no why.
Draft.
Draft. Blame Grabs. Classic. But there's no. I was hoping for some like deeper insight. Hey, we felt like so like okay. Let's at least go into the draft. What went wrong in draft? Talk to us about because we can run through each of them if you
Okay.
want. But like
So first pick of Phelios was not. I mean, so for first pick of Phelios, both games, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
And then the first game, we also had my Brom pick was not that good, and we also had Sona top, right? Yeah. Sona top is usually not. We didn't really practice it into set much, but it was just like, I just picked Sona, and even though Sona wasn't the problem, or the reason why we lost, it was still like kind of a flip. We just kind of picked it, first time.
Yeah.
You say first pick Aphelios is like a thing, but like
I think with Aphelios, you kind of need like some peel and some kind of engage. But we in that team we had some peel with like Brom Sona, but against Rakan Echo, we can't really do much about it. If they just like flash on him, he just dies. And yes, the second time around when we played Schalke, we had like Nautilus with Aphelios, and we had 0 peel. I think we had like an Ornn,
Rise Ornn, really no peel. Lee kick maybe.
Yeah, so he just kind of died as well every fight, or like if anyone got onto him, they had Rakan as well again. So if you just ulted him, he kind of died. So yeah, it was a bit rough.
I feel like you didn't get punished at all in the Misfits game for first picking Aphelios because they locked in blind. God, you're swearing now, and I can't stop swearing fiddlesticks. I'm gonna have to censor some crap out of this episode. They locked in set Xayah.
Yeah.
It's not like you got punished on your first rotation.
Yeah.
The dude blind picked set.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But we didn't really punish him that well with the Sona pick. But, my Brom pick was like pretty useless as well. Like, especially after the pick Azir Echo. Like, Brom is like not good into those two champs. So I screwed up on my pick. And I also wanted to mention in the Schalke game. Yeah, we have after first pick Aphelios. And then on the second two, we picked Lee Sin. And then we didn't want to go Aatrox because then we would have 3 AD topside. So then we were forced to pick AP. So then we gave Aatrox to enemy team, which was not that good as well. And yeah, that's kind of the draft, yeah.
It's interesting that you guys picked Lee there too, because I'm not a jungle expert by any means, but you guys really seem to love AP junglers. I think probably because of balancing out AD roles on your team.
Yeah.
And you didn't go, because you say like, we had Lee Sin, we didn't want triple AD topside, but it's like, you could have picked Elise.
Yeah, Elise would probably be a better pick, yeah. Like, at least Aatrox could be a pretty decent rotation there. Or, yeah, some other AP junglers.
So where did this, because I assume it's not Grabs puppet mastering you in the draft. So where do these, decisions come from? Because it's not like, I don't think Grabs sits back there and is like, screw you, Yankos. Like, you wanted to pick Elise. You're playing Elise in this game. Suck it up.
Yeah, okay, so I'm not quite sure why we picked it, because we discussed draft before, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't see the situation where we pick Aphelios and then second relation, which is my bad, I guess, because I didn't actually realize we were doing it. Yeah, I think Lee Sin is like an S tier jungler, so I guess we just wanted to secure it. And yeah, then we kind of realized, we need some AP in our comp. So yeah, it was a bit too late after that.
What was Yamato? How do you feel about the "it's a wash, just go next week" kind of attitude? Because I think that you're one of the few teams that can get away with this. You've built up enough good faith. Because if I don't know, Origin, Fnatic are probably in a similar boat. But if Mad Lions came in here and had an 0-2 week and then told me everything was going to be fine next week, I wouldn't believe them. Are you kidding me? I haven't known that team for long enough. The same is true of most of the teams in our league. So, why should I continue to believe that G2 are just, everything's fine. We can just run it down on stage, and next week it's going to be okay. There's no problem. You know what I mean?
I'm done with it, honestly. Come on, Miky. It's always, we were just trolling. Because, you say draft, but honestly, your gameplay was worse than draft.
No, I said both. But
both.
Let's just blame it on drafts,
You summarize the draft. I want to talk about what happened in the game, because the first game, there were so many disasters that unfolded. So you had the first triple kill Gragas, it looks like the game is over. Yes. But at the same time, Sona TP'd into bottom and got cancelled. That was really, really bad. And then Caps dies when you're basing late, and that was a disaster. And then Sona gets dove, she has no TP. It's a giga disaster. And I think from that point onward, game was boom.
Ooh, you all end at level 6 with Braum. I got it notes. I got every time you ran it down is written on this sheet of paper. And
I liked the all-in on 6 though. I liked it.
It made sense.
I respected it.
Took the gamble that Echo
and Echo we said Echo has no flash, but he had flash. So if he had no flash, I think we would get out.
So if I wanted to clickbait headline this, we've got draft issues. We've got execution issues. We've got communication issues.
A lot of stuff.
We've got a full-blown disaster on our hands.
Yeah, we do. That's why we're B-Tier. Until next week, of course.
Nice.
But yeah, can't really comment on the gameplay, but yeah, we're just gonna say drafted was the biggest problem.
Nice.
Goddamn it, Grabs.
All right, we'll blame Grabs for this week. Is there an overall sentiment, a focus heading into this week? Is there anything you can share in terms of like behind the scenes insight on what you guys are focusing on? Is it just better read on the meta,
Wake up call.
draft?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, yeah, but like
I mean, better read on the meta for sure because last week was a new patch. We didn't scream that much on the new patch, but I think now we gotta kind of figure it out. So that's why I'm pretty confident this week that we should be able to win from now on.
And I like the fumbles on stage, the mechanical fumbles, the misexecution. You talked about people being in a weird mindset. Like most teams would be like, well, we got our mental coach here. Your mental coach is Grabs/Duffman.
Yeah. I mean,
not actually their job. So yeah, because like all these things are very bad. If I'm in the context of will G2 win LEC, fine. Yeah. You're probably still number one. You're probably still favorites. If I'm in the context of will G2 be the best team the world has ever seen, I'm like, you can't just be running it down for. Hey, we struggled on stage. We ran it down. We don't know why. We just weren't in the right headspace. It kind of just happens.
But losing now was actually pretty good because we had a lot of productive talks now. So yeah. It was actually good, even though, yeah, we still lost against Schalke, which is like pretty crazy. Like even after losing to Misfits, then you know we should have turned it around.
Yeah.
But how much more of an effective wake up call was it because you lost specifically to Schalke?
Pretty big wake up call.
You guys were trying. You guys were trying.
It was quite a shocker. Yeah, I was like, wow.
Born.
We gave them their first win. Wow. I guess. Yeah.
You denied us the 0-8 versus.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about it. Yeah, we're like, oh, this is 0-8 matchups next.
That would have been the first time that's ever happened, by the way.
Really?
We had the Rocket Origin thing, but I think Rocket had technically won a game because we were in best of 3 at the time. So that would have been the first time that teams.
Goddamn.
Pretty hype.
I'm sorry, guys.
I love the mic check, with like Caps in the end. Like everyone looked kind of disappointed, and then Caps are smiling. At least we gave them their first win.
Yep. I mean, I was just like confused. I'm like, wait, we actually lost to Schalke. I'm like, okay, sure, I guess. But yeah, I mean, even the talks we had after, like the mood was still fine,
Yeah.
So I would, like, I think most teams would probably like go mental boom after
Of course.
these 2 losses. But I think we took it pretty well. So that's why I'm still pretty confident in next week's.
So if you lose 0-2 next week, what will happen? Pinoy will play?
Yeah, maybe. He has like some dark technologies. Like he has like so many crazy picks that he will unleash onto the Rift. It's gonna be insane.
Okay. I'm hyped then. 0-2.
Yeah, I want the dark technology. Unleash the Pinoy dark technology.
Dark arts.
Show us what you can do. I think I don't know, man. G2 is a very weird team. I felt the same way in like 2018 when Fnatic were still popping off and winning all the time. It was just hard to doubt them. Bwipo could like die 3 times in lane and then come on EUphoria and say anything he wanted. And I was like, well, you did int, but you're also winning every game. So it's like, what do I really say to you? Like what can I actually say here to be hypercritical? Luckily, I don't have to just talk about this week. I don't have to talk about these 4 weeks. I can also talk about last year and this year. In G2, maybe you're still dominating the competition in the LEC, but are you better than the team that you were last year? That's the big question when we come back after the break. So, Miky, that's a break from serious conversation. It's time to talk about anime, your favorite thing. If you're not an anime watcher, we're going to try to keep this as intelligible as possible. We want to make sure that everyone, even the non-weebs, can understand. Yamato here is our certified non-weeb.
Certified.
And there's 2 things I want to talk about today. One is updates on the weeb life, what you're loving, what you're not liking right now that you're watching, recommendations for the fans out there, as well as like a TLDR of those shows. So why don't we start with that?
TLDR?
Yeah, because Yamato needs to understand what he's getting into, right? Because when people want to watch...
How do I become a weeb?
Yeah, that's what he wants to understand.
Is it derogatory to say weeb? Would you be insulted?
No.
If you're a weeb?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Weeb.
Okay.
Tell me, what are you watching right now then?
What I'm watching right now? Nothing really.
Great.
I'm watching... So, yeah, I stopped watching anything like 2 weeks ago, but before I watched My Hero Academia, like every week, with Jankos usually. And then we also watched 7 Deadly Sins, but that's the only 2 we kind of watch weekly, but we kind of stopped now. But yeah, for the recommendations though, there is The Promised Neverland. It came out last year. Very insane. Probably one of my favorites, and it's very
short. What is it about, man? You're just giving me names.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I can't like spoil it,
Okay.
But it's about an orphanage, and yeah, that's the most I can give you. But after you watch the first episode, you will know what it's about.
Okay.
So I just want one episode.
Because that was already good. Because I thought it was an anime about Moses, the Promised Land.
Promise never.
Just
Promised
walking in the
Neverland.
desert for 40 years.
It's the Moses Peter Pan cross-up we've been waiting for.
For sure. I've watched some animes. Elfen Lied.
Oh, okay, that's pretty decent. Yeah, didn't watch it, but I heard it's good. I watched one episode.
And
What else did you watch? I saw you watch something in 2016. You watched something. Was it Clanad or what did you watch?
I think I started Clanad. Yeah, that was at Worlds. But then I just didn't continue. Because there was like these fish cakes, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, that was boring me, fish cakes.
Whatever.
My God.
Yeah. And then Sword Art Online, I've watched the first 10 episodes, I think 16 times.
16
That's great.
times?
The first 10 episodes are all you need to watch. After that, it goes downhill.
True, yeah.
I couldn't continue. Like, it's just, I should watch this.
We've talked about this before, I think last year on the anime episode, but yeah, the second the AI baby shows up, the entire show is ruined.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've dodged that.
Did you make it to the AI baby?
AI baby, no.
Do you
How'd you watch it 16
so
times
the female, for people who haven't watched Sword Art Online, it's, I think, shonen anime is what it's
Not
called.
16.
Basically, like, the protagonist is a total badass and, like, overcomes all challenges through crazy creative means. And you're like, wow, this guy's so smart. And he's just, like, they always have, like, insane work ethic. That's like the themes. They have insane work ethic and they triumph over everything by just trying harder and being smarter than people, and also mostly secret powers, but really the trying harder and being smarter. But there's one good female character in the entire show, and they give her an AI baby after 13 episodes and she instantly becomes irrelevant. Yeah. Asuna. They discover an AI baby. They give her an AI baby. She becomes irrelevant for the rest of the series.
Okay.
That's it. That's Sword Art Online. That's why anime is such a hit or miss, and why I think that, like,
What?
even if you can get behind animation and like liking that, because I know a lot of people don't. That's why I think a lot of people struggle with animes, because sometimes there are some like a lot of strong starts, similar to Netflix. A lot of very, very weak endings.
Yeah.
I was really upset that No Game No Life or whatever the thing was called was
That was-
cancelled, because that was pretty insane.
that was
I
good,
thought. That was like super cool, and then it just ended. They just
Yeah,
canceled it.
I
or
was with
whatever.
that one when they were playing like rock paper scissors, and then
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other one, the chess one, got weird. Anyway, if you've never seen any of these animes, it's gonna be very odd to you. So the
I'm
last,
a weeb.
you are a weeb.
You kinda,
Yeah, you just listed like 6 anime. Sneaks up on you, dude. One second you're fine, the next second it's 10 episodes of Sword Art Online. The next thing you know, you're watching it 16 times back. I guess it should have been a dead giveaway when you said I've watched the first 10 episodes of Sword Art Online like 16 times.
Well, it's just, yeah. Okay.
It's a banger. There you go.
But you didn't watch any of the classics like Death Note, or
Yeah, of course.
you don't watch it?
Dragon Balls.
Okay.
I read Naruto. I didn't watch it. Yeah, I'm a gigaweeb.
So you actually like quite a bit.
Well, yeah. How did this sneak up on you?
I don't know, man. It started with like the comic books, you know? It's like
Yeah.
you buy the Dragon Ball comic books, and then just the Shenlong dragon just starts to show up, and then I guess you're a weeb.
Yeah, I used to check them out of my like libraries when I was growing up in Portland. But there's
Never
like
give them
one
back.
copy for like the entire library, and people would take them. So you like, I read like Dragon Ball 1 through 7, then 13, then 26, just like whatever you could get, right? You'd like piece together the story.
Okay.
But now, the way that I want to tie this in, we did this once when we did a Spider-Man episode forever, is I wanted to do LEC team/players as anime characters. Yeah, here, you're with me. We're going down. You're looking at me like this is the cringest thing you've ever done in your entire life, which is weird because this is a segment about anime, Miky.
Probably top 5, yeah. I'm on my cringe list. Yeah, carry on.
Wow, cringier than your Nautilus hooks into creep.
That's top 1.
I think Dragon Ball Z is probably the most universally known anime that I can think of. I feel
Yeah,
like people
probably.
outside of it. So here's my question to you. Which LEC player is Goku?
Caps, probably. I don't know.
Caps?
I don't know.
Bro, you watch it. Come on, you got
I didn't watch all of it, you know. I just know some characters.
was-
I watched some random fights, but I never watched
okay.
the whole thing.
Which? Oh my God, this is an abomination.
What do you mean? Yeah, I mean, isn't like. Wait, so who would you give Goku to?
Goku is definitive. It's Reckless Caps or Perks, because those are the 3 main characters.
Mm-hmm.
You get the distinct pleasure of being a side character. I'm sorry, Mickey. Maybe you're Piccolo or something.
That's fine. I don't mind being Piccolo. I can be Krillin or something. I don't care.
I think
Versus Goku, no?
Perks
Because
is
he's the goat of EU, right?
yeah. Perks is Goku.
Reckless is Vegeta.
But okay, wait. But wouldn't it be like
Caps is
so?
Gohan.
Perks would be Vegeta, and then Caps would be Goku because they were like enemies at the start, and then they joined forces, kinda.
Ooh,
Yeah.
kind of.
Nice.
Oh, actually, that's true. That's a good one because then Reckless is Gohan is perfect because there's that one arc, 2018, where everyone cares, the Cell Saga.
Oh, I like that one.
When it's like all about Gohan, and then all the viewers complained, and so they stopped writing about Gohan and went back to writing about Goku because that was the original plan, was that Gohan was going to become the main character.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like Gohan itself. That was cool.
Faker's Beerus. Beerus.
Faker's Beerus, God of Destruction.
Yes.
There you go. Yamato, you're a giant weeb. That's the only thing we've learned in this entire segment.
Yeah, I don't even know this guy's name, but now that you mentioned the cat guy, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess.
Wait, what would I be?
We said
I think
Piccolo,
you
no?
said Piccolo. We have Goku and Vegeta. Who are you? You're chilling. You're helping.
Who are you, Drakos? I want to be the bald guy. I don't remember his master,
Master Roshi?
the turtle man.
No, dude, you don't want to be Master Roshi. Master Roshi's a nasty old man. No one wants to be Master Roshi.
He's a coach.
I think you're like, I'm sorry, Yamato in advance, but you're Krillin or Yamcha. As a former pro, you were like real good for a while, right? Like in Dragon Ball, you were like popping off. People were like, Wolfang Fist, Yamato, you're great. Now you just like watch. Every time the world's in danger, you're like,
Don't do a man like that, man. Krillin is like crown. Come on, man.
there could be worse things than being Krillin.
I guess, yeah. Well, what is worse in the Dragon Ball universe?
Being Yamcha.
Who's Yamcha? I forgot
Yamcha
now.
was the Wolfang Fist dude. He's super OP
like with
in
the
fighters.
Who's the guy with the big afro and the?
Oh, Mr. Satan. I can't remember what his actual name is in the English dub.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Mr. Satan, the guy who pretends to be the hero that saves the world, and everyone's like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god!" But he's not doing anything ever.
Man.
You want to be
You could be that guy.
all the options past the name people up.
Shit, who are you? You said. Well, who are you? You need the bad one too, otherwise I'm gonna feel bad.
I'm probably Krillin, dude.
Okay.
I'm probably Krillin. I'm sitting here.
You have a hot wife. You're gonna make some AI babies. That's what I'm.
and the anime discussion comes full circle. God, let's get out of here. Let's
Honestly.
talk more about G2 esports.
Yeah.
Miky, I have a theory.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty simple theory. I think 2019 G2 was infinitely better than 2020 G2.
Infinitely?
Not infinitely.
That's a lot.
Significantly better.
Significant. Okay, that's better.
Let's say relative to the competition. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I want to know, before I go into
fair,
any of my reasoning, my meme arguments, my clickbait titles, my statistics, how do you feel about that statement?
Well, if you compare it to the end of the year 2019 to start of the year 2020, it's kind of fair, yeah. But maybe it's better comparison if you do like beginning of 2019 and beginning of 2020. What looks better? I think
the same statement stands then, no?
I
That's
think
a
the same
crazy good
statement
2019
stands.
Spring, no?
we did.
I think you were. If I look at your form, I think the best Miky we ever had was 2019 spring all the way to MSI.
I think it was MSI and then regular summer. I think,
Okay.
but I'm not sure if my memory. Is
All
correct.
I'll say is I remember distinctly how much you would brag, you and Perks, about how many times you would 2v2 kill in the game. You guys 2v2 killed every single game.
That was in summer, I think.
But you did it in spring too.
Really? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you did. I remember.
Yeah, other bot lanes were not that great. And yeah, I mean, even now they're not that great, but it's just like the champs that you play now are so like telegraphed or like the same. So you usually play the same matchups all the time. So if you die in those matchups, it's like kind of crazy. Like, for example, I died in the first one where I got Aphelios. So, Aphelios can like sway some matchups here and there, can just get one shot from 10,000 range. So that sometimes happens, but not very often. So yeah, there's not many 2v2 kills or anything. I think though our games this split, the games that we won last 2 weeks ago, were more convincing or more like clean, I would say. Like, for example, against the week we played against Origin and what was it, Fnatic Rogue? No, not the Rogue one. Fnatic and OG, I think. And just like when we play better teams, I think we play better ourselves compared to last year's spring. We still had like shaky games that were like pretty close. But yeah, I mean, overall, you could say, I think it's a fair statement that 2019 was maybe better. But I think with time, I think we're going to get better than 2019.
It's interesting because I think that it's surprising because it's basically the same scenario, right? You have a player role swapping, It's the same 5 players. Obviously, 2 players, 1 player in a role that they're comfortable with. That's Perks returning to mid lane, Caps returning to bot lane. You could argue that it's kind of 2 role swaps because Perks was 80 carry last season, regardless.
Yeah.
But like statistically, you guys are just worse. Now, admittedly, when we track week 4 last season, you were 8-0, right?
True.
And you're 6-2 now. So we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But you're just slightly worse in every metric. You win lanes slightly less frequently. You die slightly more on your own. There's a lot less solo killing. There's a lot less K plus A at 15, which is basically just like how active is your early game stats. My favorite one to use for early game. You're losing lanes more, although Perks is actually pretty fine in mid CS, pretty comparable to Caps last season. So I'm just like, what's the vision, Miky, with this whole swap? Like, what is this the how you're gonna win worlds? Is this the final iteration, the final form of G2? Because I feel like it's just sitting here like an excuse. Like at any moment you could be like, we're swapping back. If anyone says anything wrong about the team, you could be like, well, players adjusting to new roles, and it's like it's a good excuse. But like, when does it run out? When do we see final form G2?
Well, not sure if it's an excuse, but it's like,
I mean, it's
kind of
fair.
an
Like
experiment,
it's technically not.
I
Well,
guess. So, like, even ourselves, we don't know when or like, why we would swap back or something. We're just like going with it, going along as we go. And then if we feel like it's not working out, then we can just like swap whenever and get like a fresh, it's like reset, I guess, or like just a reset, because usually after you like switch something up in a team, you have like this honeymoon phase, and you usually play better because you just reset mentally. And I think they can like learn from each other as well. Like they can like learn from each other playing mid lane or bot lane as well. Like Luca still like goes through like replays with Caps and like talks about bot lane with him and like tries to like teach him a bit like what he did last year, and like vice versa. They like also look at mid lane. So I don't think it's like a crazy plan to win world or something. We're gonna see, what feels better. We're gonna just try to experiment like with probably both like swapping around a bit, and probably with like champion pools as well, like who plays what and where, and
Yeah, I think the thing that concerns me, and I want to clarify that, like by excuse, I don't mean like it's a fine reason for your performance to dip, right? My concern is like if it's overused, but you're right, like it's fine. It's 4 weeks. I don't expect Caps to be master 80 carry yet. We'll say that Perks hit the ground running, and that's the thing is it's like, to me, the swap feels, I get that the honeymoon phase is nice, but it also feels really weird because I was one of the biggest critics of Perks in spring and summer. You remember I put him like 14 or some shit when he was like
weakling.
I had to eat crow on that. Like I was wrong, right? And now I feel like I have a pretty good head for what I should expect from an 80 carry, right? And I think that Perks was very good, very fast in that role.
I mean, I can kind of see like, because at the start of spring, he had like a few caster games where he like went too deep or like overextended or like at suboptimal positioning, where in that sense, I think Caps, like when he played like Senna in the first few weeks, he had like a lot of damage with like no deaths. So that was like with like a low mobility AD carry.
You did give Carzy
like,
his first career LEC kill though when he was watching top lane,
but
and you guys immediately got all in.
But that was Aphelios being not balanced. But I mean, I think Caps is playing pretty well overall. Like I think last week was like an off week, but we also didn't set him up very well for success. So in that sense, I think they were both doing. I mean, I think Caps is doing well at the start of spring. I think Perks was also doing well. So yeah,
I would like to add that I personally, even after this week, like I think that the mistakes that Caps did getting W'd by Rakan, honestly, for me, it doesn't change the opinion of Caps bottom. I think it's been one bad week, and I think there was a lot of goodness. There was a lot of good stuff. The Senna was very juicy. We have yet to see misfortune from Caps. I think it is incredibly overpowered. I think that Caps and Perks is in the same team because, as you said, they can just share information with each other, and I wouldn't be surprised if it would just take one week of playing before you guys get back into form. So if they switch back. So I think it's good to keep it loosey and goosey in spring.
Yeah, I'm like, look, I think that's fair, and this is not like you guys went 0-2, so I think Caps sucks now. So you got W recon. Like I wanted to talk about this before you guys friggin' ran it down on stage. Because even without those losses, the numbers still don't point to much better, and I still don't feel like I see that same spark. And there's like a lot of possible reasons, right? Like you can talk about adjusting to roles, you can talk about meta differences, but I really just want to understand kind of where you feel like things are at. And it's good to hear that the lingering promise of you guys swapping back when you need to is there, but also concerning that you're like, yeah, we don't know when. It's just like when we feel like when it's needed. When is it needed, dude?
We'll see.
When you're 0-2 versus FPX in the next world final, like when is it?
Maybe, yeah.
Like that's like so not concrete and so not together. But
it's a surprise factor. Teams will just be like, wait, why is he playing bot lane this time? And then we're like, haha, we're practicing all month for this, but no one will know.
How no?
The surprise factor, that's BS.
The more that we talk about it, the more it just feels like a shield. Like it just like lightens the burden. It makes it easy to take everything kind of like chill, kind of easy, low pressure. And like I get it. If you want to approach Spring Split like it's low pressure, I think that's fine. You guys grinded, and this year's competitive calendar is absolutely brutal. So I'd get that. And if you said that, I'd be like, that's fine. But you're not saying that. You're telling me it's this looming secret plan that's going to be busted out.
It's also one of the reasons, we can like play with this iteration to like, if we go MSI, we go to MSI, and then we just swap for summer, and then do a reset, and just, yeah.
So is it just these two? How deep do the swaps go just to keep? Because it seems like you guys are really happy with these 5 players, and the biggest thing you're doing is you're trying to like fake honeymoon periods by swapping players back and forth.
Pretty much. And I mean, we also have like a lot of different things we want to do with the swap, but it's not for the pub. It's a surprise factor.
All right. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about kind of a little bit is meta, because I think that 2019 spring was like, just 2019 in general was like G2 breaking the meta. It was like the year where like everyone on your team got to pop off, right? This year feels very different. And when I was looking at Caps' number, I think I had to take into account that he didn't get to play in Xayah Kai'Sa meta when AD carries got to do things and had champions that could outplay. Because Aphelios and Senna, just as champions have like little to no agency, like you were saying, they need Senna maybe less so, but Aphelios definitely needs. I mean, they're broken as hell. Don't get me wrong, but they also, if they walk into a 1v1 against a champion that's more fed than them, they instantly die. There's no get out of jail free card. There's no outplaying it.
That's true.
You get one shot. And so the thing that I noticed watching you guys last week is it just feels like in this meta right now, when you guys start to lose, you just continue to lose. And I think the thing that makes me sad, especially about this, is watching a player like Caps who is, and once again, this is everything I say about Caps is just what I want to see more from Caps, not a slight on Perkz as a mid laner, because Perkz is a fantastic mid laner. It's just like watching, you have 2 of the best mechanically gifted players, and you've got one of them playing like Aphelios. Like, are you kidding me? He's just sitting here mashing his fingers. It feels absolutely criminal. And the second you guys start to lose, I have to watch Caps die 1,000,000 times because the champion has no agency, no tools to outplay. He either kills you when you walk into him or he can't, and then he dies instantly.
Yeah. I mean, we're just practicing some AD carries right now on stage, but there's a lot of champions that have agency that we could play in the bot lane in theory.
Is that fair? I don't know. Agency is the word that makes sense to me because it just feels like you have, like, if you play Xayah, you always have CC. It always makes it relevant. If you play Kai'Sa, you have multiple gap closers. You have like some scaling max HP damage. Whereas like if you play Aphelios and you're behind on item curves, you're like,
you still have CC.
You do still have CC, but you have no tools to protect yourself.
Yeah, I mean his only problem is he has no escape. Yeah, that's why I need to peel. But yeah, we didn't really set him up. Good idea. Or Tamkench. Tamkench is very good.
No, not Tamkench. Tamkench is for players that suck on trash.
Yeah.
Many of those.
That's
all over the world.
Kind of true, yeah.
So is 2020 just worse meta for G2, do you think? Worse season?
No, I don't think so. I don't think any meta is like bad for us. I mean, I think we like metas where we can flex a lot of stuff. Now, some champs aren't very, very flexible, but we could make them flexible. if you try hard enough.
The amount of
You
vague
can
promises
bend
I'm
metal
getting
if
from
you really want.
You
Yeah.
promise me everything. Anything you do on stage, you're gonna be next week and be like, "See, I told you we could do it. I said that one thing that might have implied that we could maybe do this thing."
Yeah, I'll give you the timestamps after this week.
I'm curious, Miky. I'm curious, very curious. Because I think the best Miky that we had was in spring last year. Because for me, it was very easy in spring to say Miky is the best support in the world. Like MSI performance was really, really insane, especially with the drop off of Baolan and IG as a whole. And then I thought about it, and this was the time where you played the least. You had
That's
Promiscu
true, yeah.
subbing in, you played the least. It was almost like as if, like I know you, I know how much you love playing. So it was like as if you're sitting there, not being able to play, and then when you finally played, you just unleashed, you know? But then G2 as a whole also kind of dropped off coming into summer because you guys had to take it easy after MSI. I want to ask you, when do you think you had your best form in your history in the last years?
I mean, I think for sure at MSI, I think I played the best
Yeah.
or like the most consistent, I guess. And I think summer regular season, I think I was playing pretty well.
Okay.
I don't actually remember spring that much, so
You're smurfing with Rakan almost every game.
I actually don't remember.
Like
But
you were really smurfing.
but I remember summer. I,
was
think
like,
I was
"Please,
playing.
I know what split it is. I'm asking you to be polite, but just say 2019 spring."
But yeah, I think MSI for sure I was playing well. And yeah, it's kind of weird that maybe solo queue just like ruins people, just makes them worse or something. But yeah, I was just kind of watching others play solo queue, and usually from solo queue you like kind of tilt like if you lose games, if you have noob teams. But I was just kind of chilling, I was in a very happy mood. I was just like just chilling them, watching them rage. I was like, haha, I'm not playing. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's the solution. Maybe I'll have to try it out. Just
Bring
not playing
Promiscu
solo.
back
Yeah, perhaps.
for Miky insane Super Saiyan form.
Pinoy can play some crazy support picks. We share a lot of champion picks, so could happen, you know.
Nice. He's the one telling you to pick Nautilus every game.
No.
Fucking creeps.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, creep hitboxes are like so big.
Yeah.
Actually, no, the Nautilus hitbox, that's too big, like honestly. They should nerf the hitbox. So I can actually hook between the minions. But yeah.
I mean, oh, Miky. Do you think it's like, I don't know, because obviously I feel like I'm just attacking you.
They kind of are, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand, dude. I'm just trying to get something concrete out of your team. Because it just feels like it's impossible to pin you guys down, you know? There's no hard commitments. There's like, it just feels weird to me that like every year we're gonna have a team that's just like, oh, they have an 0-2 week, who cares?
Yeah.
They're that team this split. And you're that team, and you can keep being that team probably. And I think until you guys actually lose a split, you'll get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
That's a weird position to be in.
It's not that
How do you not just coast though?
coast.
You could just coast. You have the benefit of the doubt forever, right? Like you could just like get 6th place
No.
in the regular season
Could
and
get
then
6th
just
place.
show up in playoffs, right?
I mean, I guess, yeah, that could theoretically happen. But yeah, it wouldn't be so
It's
nice.
not that far removed.
Like,
Like
right
you
now-
guys literally like G2 literally like took a break and subbed in a bunch of randoms like a year ago after the
guess.
MSI run when they were struggling. Like you guys could just like
But I think for now, going 0-2 is whatever, because we're still first, in the regular season. But like if we
tied for first.
started week 1 as 0-2, we'd be like, oof, what's happening here? But yeah, I mean, there's a long way until the end of the regular season, and as many people say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So yeah,
So Miky, are you winning MSI?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
actually, yeah, I think we have a pretty good shot. Yeah,
Okay. Well, LPL is not being busy. I guess
Yeah.
that's a big plus for you guys.
Yeah, I don't want to like
True.
BM that situation. The
Yeah.
coronavirus is like a horrible, horrible thing. But
Uh,
it does make me worried about MSI. Because like if you guys win because the LPL teams suck, I'm gonna be so sad.
yeah, that's true.
If you guys beat an
doesn't feel
LPL
like-
team finally in
yeah.
a best of 5, I will
won't
be so
feel-
happy. But I
it won't
swear to
feel
God, if
satisfying.
if they haven't, it's because they haven't gotten a chance to practice for 3 months or 4 months or whatever.
like, are they screaming? Like,
I don't know. Like I don't know. And it's like
'cause I heard they are not allowed to leave their houses, but maybe that's when you play a lot of solo queue, right? And you grind. I have no idea, honestly.
yeah, I don't know, dude. It's an
So
actual tragedy.
It's horrible, the situation.
Yeah, it makes it easy. I mean, I hope we get top form LPL team on a side note.
Been watching the Shy stream. He's crazy good.
yeah,
Big fan.
All right, Miky. I think so. G2 remains at the top of the chopping block indefinitely. Yamato, thank you. We got some nice personal insight into Miky's own self-performance. Mostly I just attacked you with questions because I just want to pin your team down, dude. I just want to understand your headspace, where you guys are at. No, I know. When I came over to your house and we played Mortal Kombat and you were just memeing me the entire time, I learned. This is who you are 24/7. It's miserable. Which, during the break, we'll tell a story about that, or during our off-topic segment.
Yeah, someone was being a bit overconfident in his Mortal Kombat skills.
Okay, yeah, all right. We'll hold on to that. The other thing I want to ask you about is last week, Yamato and we had a nice discussion kind of about the level of each role in Europe. And when we came to talking about the support pool, I think the general consensus was it was a bit yikes.
Yeah. I think for me, like the biggest question mark was, or for us, was these supports haven't, like most supports, the new ones that have been coming in, the rookies, just been on Brom duty, and it's kind of hard to judge them. But now, like for me, usually you can judge a support by how good the Rakan is, I feel. And we saw some decent Rakans, but we leave the question to you. What do you think about the supports in Europe? Who stands out to you?
So, just from the rookies, I think Kaiser is probably the best of the rookies, like from what I've seen. I think Danik is also playing pretty well. They're both playing a lot of Rakan, and their Rakans are pretty decent. I think Kaiser's maybe a bit better. He was a limit as well.
Yeah.
He didn't play much Rakan. He's like stuck on Tamkench, Brom, Nautilus, and Leona, I think, which is a bit sad. But I think he's playing like decent overall. He's like for sure not the reason they're losing, I think. But I think overall the level of supports in Europe is like not bad, but there's not much skill expression, I guess, at the moment.
Yeah.
You're just kind of playing either a Tonk, and the only way you can actually carry is like if you play Rakan, I guess. But you usually just play Nautilus, Leona, Brom, and you're just a tank, you know, and just do whatever. You're a role player.
So my follow-up would be then, because Hylissang has been getting like a lot of flack from a lot of Fnatic fans. This is how usually they are.
Yeah.
And he's been having some 0-8, 0-9 Nautilus games. Do you think...
I feel him.
You definitely do. You definitely do. What do you think about Hylissang's performance so far? And do you still see him as the guy right behind you in the tier list of supports?
Yeah, I still think he's like up there with me. I think it's just, he did have a few shaky Nautilus games, but so did I, you know. But I think overall, even though he's like dying a lot, he's still looking for opportunities that, like on paper, they seem decent. Like some of them are, of course, int. For example, against us when he just dove me on the tower, that was really int. But like most of the time, he's like really creative, so it's still like hard to play against him, and he tries to influence the whole map, which is pretty good.
He gets in your head, kind of.
Yeah, he's like he wants to be everywhere, you know. So it's still like you still feel pressured when you play against him compared to other supports, I guess. Usually, most supports just like kind of chilling in lane, you know, just a bit AFK. But he actually does a lot of stuff around the map. So yeah, except his Nautilus performances, I think he's playing pretty well. So I think he's getting a bit undeserved flack. And it could just be Nautilus the champion that is not very good because, you know, both me and Hill are kind of inting with him. So maybe just the champ that sucks, not us.
Yeah. You guys are the only people where I think the gigantic Q hitbox is a disadvantage instead of an advantage.
Yeah,
You're both kings of threading the needle. You can't thread the needle when it's a
That's true, actually, yeah. Yeah, on Thresh it's a bit easier to like go like through the, like just near the minion and like still go through it, you know. But Nautilus you just hook the minion, like yeah, whatever.
People are gonna be so irritated. All the solo queue players are raging right now. Like, what are you kidding? It's most. How can you possibly mix a
nerf the hitbox? Honestly,
broken champion. I'm curious if you agree though that like you and Hylissang are top two, and then that's kind of it. To me, it's like
so, yeah.
You guys gap everybody else.
I'm not sure if there's like a gap. I think players like Kaiser, Vander, Destiny is playing pretty well on stage as well. I think Danik as well. Like I think these are like pretty good too. I don't think there's like a gap. I think everyone's like pretty close. But then again, it's only been a few weeks and there's been a lot of Nautilus, Leona, Brom, so can't judge like that well. But I think that's kind of accurate.
So if when people going back to our conversation was kind of about like the moniker for the longest time was like EU mids, right? And it doesn't really feel like that's 100% the case anymore. Like we got strong talent. We were talking a lot about jungle. We were talking a lot about AD carry. But the way you make it sound is that there's a lot of supports contesting this too. Do you think EU supports is like something that EU should be known for? Or is this still, do you think, one of our weaker roles? Yeah, okay, then what is it then like our...
I mean, everyone's just like fine, you know? There's no one like really insane. You can't like, I mean, you can't say EU is known for their supports. Yeah, that doesn't sound that...
sounds ridiculous.
That doesn't sound that great, yeah. But I think like the most stacked role would probably be like AD carry in Europe. Like, yeah, I think there's a lot of really good ADs. But yeah, I think that's like the biggest one.
I think the problem is like when you think of like role density, like do you just automatically think about the LPL? I think.
Yeah, of course
like
you
in
do.
terms of what they have individually on each role is just crazy. It's like I agree, like AD carries is probably the most stacked role in Europe, but then it's like LPL AD carries. It's like woof. Just like the new man from he was RNG sub Wink is now playing, and he's like could be one of the best AD carries, and he's just a new guy that's starting. I think he's playing for I believe E-Star, and it's just crazy to follow. It's just they're too insane.
Are you good enough to beat the LPL, Miky?
I think so, yeah.
Full strength LPL. If you
I
ran it
believe
back,
so.
yeah, let's just ask the meme questions that the fans want to hear. If you had to run it back against FPX today in a best of 5, do you think
Would
you'd
win? Yeah, I think it would win. If you ran it back right now. If you
Right
go back in time,
What would you change? Give us what
a
you'd
lot of
change.
stuff I would change. But
Oh yeah, what would you change?
so first of all, I would for sure change the draft. I would change our level 1s, and I think that should be good enough. Just those two would be good enough to win.
Drafting level 1s, all it takes.
So don't throw in the late game.
I think against LPL it's probably better if you go like more early game
Yeah.
focused, because they usually win games in early game. I think most of the games that we lost against FPX were like lost in early game.
Game 1, I think you could win though.
Yeah, I mean game 1 sure. I mean game 3 you could also win, but
Yeah.
game 3 was like really doomed from the beginning. But then we kind of came back and then we lost. And then the first game it was like kind of even-ish, and even though they were like really hard trying to snowball top,
Yeah.
and it was like kind of working. Yeah, but I think a lot of it comes from just like their good level 1s. So yeah.
Fnatic didn't teach you guys jack shit, huh?
I guess, yeah. No, but like they were like just too crazy. Like the third game, they invade bot side level 1 and they lose 3v3 level 1, but they just do it anyway because we're just like
Shock
I don't
factor.
they're too smart.
Surprise
That's a
factor.
that's
That's
a
what
surprise
you got
factor.
for
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. We're just like, why are they invading? They would lose this if for 3 people here, but I guess like they're too smart.
All right, Miky. All I want to know now is I've derailed the conversation enough. Next week, you guys have 2 games. Mad Lions, you're playing Excel 2. You're like, we're back on the train. It's 2-0. You're in draft right now. You have to dismantle Excel while also simultaneously not revealing all your scrim picks to the world because obviously you don't want to do that. But like, talk to me a little bit about your 2 matches coming this week so we can close out the episode.
Without revealing stuff.
Well, you can
a rough
reveal
one.
stuff. I mean, that's fine with me if you want to reveal stuff. I'm just
Yeah, I
trying to
think we
protect
figured out that Tom Kench is really OP, so we might just first pick Tom Kench just like they're doing in NA. I think it's really good strat. They should probably ban Tom Kench if they want to win. So, you know, that's probably a strat for the week. And yeah, that's it. Just pick Tom Kench.
Oh my god, dude! Thank you for being an absolute and total troll. You're Yamato. You're watching Excel versus G2. You don't know scrim picks, so you don't have to worry about leaking anything. If you're Excel, how do you beat G2?
Excel beat G2. I think Excel has been really good in the early game, but their mid to late game has been awful. So I think they have opportunities to get ahead. They need to learn how to stay ahead. I think hopefully G2 will ban Pantheon and remove these shenanigans that Excel will, you know. But obviously with the Tamkins prepared, that's really good against Pantheon.
It's really good, yeah.
Just defend your AD.
If he stuns him, I just eat him. It's so broken.
I think, you know, it's weird because if you prepare against G2, you kind of hope that you get the bad kind of G2. You know, it's like, I remember preparing against you guys and then like, okay, they picked Garen. All right. We have Karma top, probably the most OP champion in the game, and they picked Garen top. So we got to win, guys. Great.
That happened, yeah.
You kind of pray, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I just hope we can break our losing streak. It might be a rough one, but I think we can do it.
rough one. Okay, so the beast is not awoken.
No.
He's Mimi. That's another Tom Kench pick. Miky, I love you and I hate you, dude. You drive me absolutely crazy. Best support in Europe, on the best, currently tied for number 1 team in Europe. Thank you for coming on, Miky. Thank you for sharing your insight into the team, putting up with my barrage of questions, trying to understand you, get inside the mind of G2. This has been episode 6. Yes, I've been confirmed. Episode 6, season 5 of Euphoria.